Yeah, we obviously didn't start good or start well. I mean, down 24-0 to start things off. Obviously, no excuse for that. We didn't come out. We didn't coach well enough, and we didn't play well enough.
Why do you look so disorganized and undisciplined? I mean, your teams to this point have been, no matter what the talent level, you've been pretty cohesive.
Yeah. I felt like, again, I'd say we didn't coach well enough, we didn't play well enough, and that's always going to start with me. If we go out there and lay an egg and we're down 24-0, that's going to start on me. I didn't have the guys ready to start. But our fundamentals, all right, weren't what we needed it to be. We'll make sure that we're working hard on that. And the bye week's coming at a good time. We got to get our bodies right, and we got to make some changes as far as what's going on fundamentally. Early on in the game, I thought we had some missed tackles. Thought we had a couple drops. And those are going to stop drives, and those are going to extend drives. And that's where we got it. That's going to have to start with fundamentals. Then it's going to be looking at where what kind of positions we're putting the guys in. But yeah, we didn't play well enough, like you said, and coach well enough fundamentally, penalty wise, everything.
Yeah, Saquon had two carries in the first three possessions. What was behind?
We had 9 plays. I mean, you had 9 plays, and 3 of them are third downs. So now, he had 2 carries on 6 plays. I mean, that's the way football. I mean, when you go 3 and out, that no one's going to have any touches. Nobody's going to have any catches. We weren't sustaining drives. That's another. We can say what about the defense, but we weren't sustaining drives on offense. And so they were on the field a lot early on and a lot of plays. But I think if you see the flow of the game, you understand why that happened. But I mean, obviously we want him to get the touches of the ball, but when you don't sustain drives, then you're not going to be able to. Obviously, on the one where we did, get into it, I think was it the 4th drive where we scored, or 5th, yeah, 4th. Then you got a first down. You're able to go on the ball. You're able to get them a couple carries there. But again, and so on 2nd and 12, I mean, you can run it there to try to get them another carry, but you're trying to get yourself a little bit back to make sure you're in a 3rd and manageable. Listen, we didn't coach well enough. We didn't play well enough, and that again.
It's obviously a big focus of yours, anything really, but you've lost turnover battle in every game.
Mm-hmm.
-6 now.
-6.
And, what goes into that, and also more specifically, Jalen's pocket presence, is that a concern, and how do you fix that?
No, strip sack fumbles like that Jalen's getting ready to throw. That's not when you look at those there's when the guy's coming from behind on you and gets the ball out. That's not Jalen. But Jalen gets credited for that. And so, again, I'll have to look at the tape and see what happens. But when again, this game is always going to come down to the details and fundamentals. Like, did you tackle well enough? Did you take care of the ball well enough? Did you come after the ball yourself well enough? Did you block well enough? And I just didn't think our details and fundamentals were up to our par, up to our standard. And again, when that happens, you got to look at yourself in the mirror first, and I'm at myself in the mirror first. Are we doing the right things at practice? Are we doing the right drills? Are we doing so? We'll do a deep dive into not only scheme this upcoming week, sitting at 2-2 at the bye, but we'll also look at how are we helping these guys become better fundamentally. Again, with drills, with what we do at practice, with how we watch the tape, everything will be dissected, trying to get a win off the bye.
A couple guys mentioned that they didn't really know yet what the team's identity was. It's something that you're going to maybe figure out coming out of the bye. Do you know yet what this team's identity is?
I think it's early, and I think there's a lot of teams' stories unwritten right yet. I don't think, again, you have some base things that you think that you do well, but to say, we know what our identity is. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just we're going to figure out what we do well. We're going to try to continue to do that. See what we don't do well. Try to get out of that, and then try to mesh some of the things that together.
I know you said the turnovers are a team stat in terms of the fumble in the pocket.
But are you working with Jalen maybe any differently during the week leading up to games? Because it has been a few weeks now where your turnovers are coming.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, all the guys are working their butts off as far as the turnover go. Again, we'll have to reorganize, relook at ourselves as coaches to see if we're putting them in the doing the right things with them, because we're not winning. At the end of the day, we're -6. So we all got to own that. We all got to put our name on that. So, we'll reevaluate that, and obviously I haven't done a good enough job of that to date, because we weren't last year. We weren't great at the turnover battle, and this year we're not. So we'll like I said, everything will be everything, scheme, fundamentals will all be evaluated, because I said it last week. You can't. This is not sustainable when you don't win the turnover battle and you're down -6 on it. So everything will be evaluated.
The report suggested that Lane expected to play last night. Can you offer clarity as far as his situation?
Yeah. At the end of the day, he didn't pass protocol.
What was the defensive game plan?
Sorry?
What was the defensive game plan?
Just to make sure, again, tackle well, try to get after the quarterback. Listen, we didn't do a good enough job on that. But it's always going to start with fundamentals of how we get off blocks, how we defeat blocks, how we tackle. To tell you, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to say that here's what we were going to do on third down, here's what we were going to do on P10. I'm not going to get into that. But we didn't play good enough either offensively or defensively. And we didn't coach well enough on either side. And when the shift of time of possession is what it was in that first half, but he's going to get that credited to him. At the end of the day, it's a team game and it's on all of us, right? And to be -6, we all own that. All of us are responsible, starting with me as the head football coach. Again, that stat, it's because that -6 is on offense and defense. So if we're not taking the ball well enough, and we're not protecting it well enough, that look no further than me. But again, we'll look at every turnover that we have this upcoming week. We'll analyze it. We'll figure out more what's going on. We got a good idea, but we got to get better at that.
Last one, guys. Slow starts. What's the first thing that you want to dive into to get that problem?
Yeah, we've been starting slow on offense. Obviously they came down and scored right away today on defense. So I think it's been both sides, but we haven't scored on any of our opening drives. So we got to start faster on offense. And we'll, like I said, we'll look into that. Sometimes, we've had different variations of how drives have started, but that'll be one of the first things we look at. How do we go down and go up 7-0, or how do we go down and go up 7-3 or whatever it is. We got to do a better job of starting fast, and I'll look at everything. I'll look at what we're calling, how we're playing. Anything we can do in practice to simulate it. I mean, that's what you look at if something's not going the way you want it to go, whether it's red zone, whether it's third down. You look as a coach of how can I simulate this. So, maybe it's something like that. Haven't had to do that yet, but everything will be on the table. All that matters is that these guys continue to get better, and that us as coaches get better. And that's all that matters. We're sitting at 2-2 going into our bye week, and all we can do is improve, and that's all we're going to try to do this upcoming week.